In all your years of being a coach and watching professional football, have you ever seen or witnessed something like this?
No, I don't think anyone has, which is kind of speaks to the magnitude of it and kind of the overall reaction. I just started getting on social media and trying to read some articles and see some reactions and um, something on this level, this magnitude. I mean, you hate to see it, and you certainly never, want to see it, in person or with any of your kids or teams or players. But you just got to feel for the family, you got to feel for the team, you got to feel for the organization. I mean, I can't imagine the trauma that they're going through right now. Just to you got a young man's life at stake there in the hospital in critical condition. Sounds like hopefully still in critical condition and hopefully on the mend.
You mentioned trauma. As a coach, you have seen many players, your players, who have gone down with injuries, some severe, not obviously not as severe as what we saw tonight with Hamlin, but you have seen your fair share of injuries. As a coach, when you're in that position where you witness that, what do you say to your team to rally them back up or to just kind of get them to gain their composure or poise?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a tough task, and unfortunately, we've had that a couple of times at the end of the spring season. We had a running back, Julian Perkins, kind of a broken ankle, broken leg situation on the sideline, and as tragic as those things are, nothing on the magnitude of what we saw tonight. But you hate to see a kid go through that. You hate to, and with his teammates there and seeing it, like they're definitely in a place of they're pretty vulnerable. They're young kids, young adults, and they certainly have a relationship with their teammate. And that's one of the blessings of sports and football specifically being such a team sport. I mean, all these kids are together. We had it happen again this year, unfortunately, in our first game against Monterey Trail with a player, Walker Lyons, and a kid of his stature on campus, on the team, and in the public's eye. Not that that matters any which way, but it certainly the magnitude of an injury like that. He went down with a broken leg, like 3, 4 snaps into his senior year. Now the emotions are feeling bad for the kid and what he's going to miss out on, and the injury and the road and the personal hardship, and his role in the team, his relationship with his teammates, and what we preach to our guys is injury is a part of the game, and you try to the safest way to play the game is the way it's played with the rules, full speed and to the ground tackling. The game is much, much safer now than even when I was playing not too long ago. And you try to have confidence in that. And we've seen it. I mean, our rate of injuries have plummeted, in recent years, especially with, I think, with the NFL spearheading the education on head injuries and concussion and that type of trauma. But, then you have, broken bones and ligaments, et cetera. Those are still a part of the game. And to see a kid go down and have his teammates have that kind of reaction towards him is a tough situation for any coach, and certainly was for me. And trying to rally the kids to get back to playing, after a 30, 40 minute, stall where ambulance is coming on, carting a kid off. I mean, that's a tough situation.
I'm sure there's a lot of mothers who were watching the game tonight and saw what happened to Hamlin. And I'm sure you, as a coach, probably hear from parents who are concerned about the dangers of the sport. When something like this happens, and there are a lot of parents out there who are afraid to let their kids play in contact sports like football as a result of that, what is your message to the parents of some of these kids?
Yeah, I mean, we talk to parents all the time, especially as educators and teachers and high school coaches. I mean, we interact with the parents all the time. And I mean, coincidentally enough, you called me and I couldn't take your call. I'm on the phone calling parents in our youth program, trying to promote our youth barbell club, which is starting on campus. And that's really intended to help the kids develop and prepare to take on the rigors of contact sports like football. But it's a comprehensive strength and conditioning program, good for kids in all sports, soccer and rugby and track and field and baseball. And I think in the large scope of things, sports are certainly really, really safe for kids, and they're a vital part of their education. And as they grow up in communities like here in Folsom, it's a really big piece to their development. And you can't prevent any and all injuries, that's for sure. But you do everything you can as a coach to prepare the kids, provide programs, opportunities, training, to put them in the best possible position to be successful as they grow up. And then, I commonly use the adage like we have parents that'll sign their kids up for tackle football, and sometimes those kids are 9 and 10, and they're, crashing into each other 5, 10 yards apart. And are you the parent that wants your kid to be the biggest, strongest one out there, or the smallest and weakest one out there? And I think a big part of training and off-season conditioning is for those young bodies to learn to absorb force and learn to take on the rigors of contact sports. And one really good way to do that is in the weight room, and we try to promote that, and we do it at the high school too. And we've seen a tremendous success with minimizing the injuries in our program, and I know my peers and other coaches have as well.
Well, Coach, I know you're a very busy person, and I really thank you just for taking a few minutes here to share your insight, your perspective, your knowledge, pretty much everything that you know that I don't or our viewers don't know. So, thank you for really giving us just a unique perspective through the lens of these kind of injuries occurring. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone when I say we really hope that Hamlin is able to pull through this. Whatever may happen. But
Absolutely, and I mean, I'm glad to hear they called the game right away, and that stuff is nothing in comparison to just the health and well-being of the kids. I mean, he's a young man. I mean, he's a kid still. He's playing the sport, and just hope everything turns out well.